In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how ChatGPT helped me skyrocket PHP learning when I was working as a web developer. ChatGPT became a thing for me like last year, so I was just playing around with it, asking some questions and stuff. But the real deal began exactly when I started generating content ideas with ChatGPT and generating code snippets with it. So it was basically like this. I built my website exactly a year ago, like in January 2023. And I can say, like, I learned new technology. I started doing new things. I was just kind of building my presence online with my website for exactly the job. But what happened is I built my website, I built a blog, and I designed it. It looks pretty good, right? uh, I was not really using it that much, but then I tried kind of make a newsletter app inside of my website. So basically that I could like send you emails and stuff when you subscribe, a newsletter app, right? I kind of made it. It worked almost. It worked locally. It didn't work online because just Google didn't allow me to sign in with my email. There was stuff that I could do about it, but I just kind of I just said fuck it, I'm gonna use the tools that already exist. I kind of moved on to ConvertKit. But the thing is, almost the entire logic and some of the code snippets I generated with ChatGPT. Basically what would happen is I have an idea. For example, I want to build an app, right? And I kind of have ideas that it's going to store some data locally, it's going to store some images, it needs like data access, it needs to request data from an API. It needs to have like a scroll features, it has like widgets, menus and stuff. I kind of understand the logic, right? So you can systemize that data, that knowledge that you have with ChatGPT. What you basically do is describe your situation, like give it a context, give it what you know, and then kind of ask what you want and just try to play around with it, make some prompts, do some research as well. It's going to give you a very, very good outline. That's exactly what I did as well. And then when you actually start doing it, of course, you start from the biggest picture, zoom out, try to solve the problem that way, and then you try to zoom in one by one on every detail that you're solving. And then ChatGPT helps even more. It speeds up the process of coding. Why? Because let's say you have a problem with, let's say, like on the website, you want to kind of have a drag and drop file, like a drag and drop file input area where you basically can drop files in React, for example. It's going to take a lot of stuff that you need to kind of remember, you know? It's going to take time. It's not impossible to do, obviously, but it's going to take time that you could invest otherwise. It's all about efficiency, you see? So you just describe it exactly the way you want it to be, and then it just kind of works. ChatGPT gives you exactly what you want. Yes, 90% of the time it makes mistakes, but they're like easily correctable. It's usually just the name of the variable or a function, or it just puts it in the wrong place, but the functionality of the code snippets that it gives, it works. It just works. It also makes some stuff up sometimes, but still, it's very, very logical. It's If you see it, you can definitely remake it, rewrite it the way you want it to be. That's exactly what I did as well. So it's the summer. So it's like I kind of moved on. Some time passes. It's the summer of 2023, and I'm back in Kyrgyzstan, my home country, and I'm looking for a job, right? The first position that I'm looking for is a coder, a programmer, web developer, particularly like full stack. And then one of my relatives helps me get a job. I passed the test. She kind of like just refers me to participate in a test. I passed the test, and then I kind of get an internship, but it's not like when you just internship. It's more like a testing period basically. I worked there for over a month, and their stack is like a the list of tools that you use. Their stack was absolutely different, like completely different to what I was using. My stack was like, if it was Python, it was Django, and on the front end, it was usually just pure HTML, CSS, or sometimes React as well. And if I was using Next.js, then it would definitely be React, obviously. And yeah, so those are like three technologies that I use for that. For web, for data, for databases, it was like, for databases I used Postgres and MongoDB as my primary databases. And yeah, so that was my stack. While at the job, their stack was PHP, Laravel, and Vue.js. And as their database, they were using what the fuck they were using? It was like SQLite 3 or Postgres, I think. Yeah, Postgres or MariaDB, yes. They were using like all of them, but mostly MariaDB. Oh, so it was horrible at first. I did not understand anything, but thankfully I'm a very quick learner and I use ChatGPT for that. Basic So what I did was I was trying to connect the dots between the languages that I already knew, which is Python, JS, the logic of them. I was literally just so in this feed, I was asking the question literally like this. So in JavaScript, you have this functionality. Do you have that in PHP? Can you explain that? And syntax, please, as well. And that it will literally just give me that. Uh, it was like incredibly fast learning. By the end of the like testing period, I was like literally almost at the level of other interns, whereas they studied that language, whereas they learned them for like several months and stuff, while I did it in several weeks. ChatGPT can do that, definitely. And it can also solve bugs and problems that you encounter. There were some just stupid fucking mistakes that we did. And it got to the point where I would literally just paste the code into ChatGPT and say like, what is going on? And it would point out some ridiculous stuff that it would be hard to find, to say the least. It's like, when ChatGPT came out, the Stack Overflow usage rate dropped down, but by like 40 or 50%. I don't remember, but it dropped significantly because ChatGPT scraped Stack Overflow. It has literally every problem. Before we go, there's actually something that I want to tell you. Naval Ravikant said something very interesting. There are developers that can produce the output of 10,000 developers. It's like in the past, it used to be like a 10x developer. Now it's more like 100,000 times. And they are obviously outliers, but the thing is, you can become one of them right now with ChatGPT. It's like you can have literally everything about coding at your disposal, at your fingertips, literally just one prompt away. So the idea of a 10x developer was that one person produces the output, the amount of work of a 10 developers, of 1,000 developers, of 100,000 developers. It's possible. Look at Minecraft, for example. It was literally developed by one guy. Look at Ruby on Rails. It was developed by one guy. Look at Vue.js. It was developed by one person. There are people like that, and it's all about leverage. People, the people, the outliers, the 10x developers, they found a way to leverage their input such that they can output such massive amounts of work. That's exactly what you can do. ChatGPT is just a leverage. It's not a solution. It's all about efficiency, and efficiency is about increasing output at a given amount of input. That's all I want to say.